Hey, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and this happens to be a solo podcast. I am just hanging out today, getting a couple things done. I wanted to podcast today and talk about character, talk about what it is with some people with their character. Um, Hang on, I got a little thing on my phone. I gotta turn this off so it won't make any noise and get distracted. Let's talk about character. So I read a lot, or I used to read a lot. Now I guess I read a lot of memes, but when I was younger, I remember reading something that says that true character is defined in the shadows. And what that means is when nobody's watching, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you taking care of business? Are you handling the things that you're supposed to handle? And going into the Marine Corps back in 94, I took that to heart. And I took all of the things that they said to heart. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Know yourself and seek self-improvement. All of these things sort of was a focus in my mind because when I was in my, early 20s, my goal was how do I make myself better? How do I improve myself? How do I become the best person that I could be? And I didn't do it for selfish reasons. I did it because I was a dad, because I had children, because I knew that I was going to be raising a son who is going to need direction. And so I felt like going into the service was going to give me that direction and that character and that defining moment that underlines everything that who I am from that moment on. So basically, I allowed myself to be a blank slate. I said, all right, this is what I've done so far, but let's go with this plan. Let's go with what you got. See how it turns out. So how it turned out was that now I'm still in that mindset. I'm still in that thought process of how do I do better? How do I get better? What are the things I need to work on? And the older I get, the more I let some things go. I've never been a fan of running. I ran in the Marine Corps because I had to, because I needed to look a certain way and fit in a uniform a certain way, and I needed to be able to run it at the drop of a hat for miles and miles and miles. And listen, there was a time where I really got into it. There was a time where I ran a lot, and for me, that was part of the job. The job was, for a large part, to be ready for anything. So running was part of that. Cardio was part of that. I got older and running wasn't part of that, nor was it fun. So I didn't do it, and I've stayed away from it. And I'm okay with that. Does it mean now that my clothes fit differently? Sure. Do I look differently? Sure. But the focus is still there on other things that I can improve. So there's little things like, for instance, I have a grill. You guys have seen me do some YouTube videos about grilling. If you haven't checked it out, check it out on YouTube. There's plenty of things I'm going to be grilling. Now, this all started from me and my wife talking about the fact that whenever we went to visit her family, they always had certain people in the family that created something great when we got together. For instance, she had an Aunt Jewel that was known for making her special macaroni and cheese that was better than everybody else's. And we had Aunt Iona making her dumplings, chicken and dumplings. It was better than everybody else's. And Tina was making all kinds of desserts that was better than everybody else's. Like everybody had a thing that they were known for, but they were like, oh, I can't wait till they come because I want to eat this thing that they make. And I was in that thought process. I told my wife, I said, I want to make something that people want. I want to make something that's dependable. I want to make something that when we show up, they go, oh, I hope Josh makes blah, 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 whatever it is. So that started that journey. And also, being a man, you want to grill, right? You hear people talking about grilling. You're like, that sounds like a thing I could do. So I remember asking my stepdad back in the day, hey, is there any way we could get a decent grill? Because I had a grill that was a charcoal grill and it was garbage. And let's face it, if you don't know what you're doing, charcoal is really tough to learn on. Gas is probably the easiest to learn on. And so he got me a really great gas grill. It was a Phoenix grill. It had a indirect cooking service with like a pan so that all the flame was under the pan and all of the drippings fell into the pan, into the little bucket. It's a great way to cook. Indirect heat. It allowed you to cook things pretty steadily, pretty, dependable. It was a well-made grill. The biggest problem with the grill, though, is that I couldn't turn it down low enough to do a slow grill. And I wanted to start smoking meats. I wanted to start, slow grilling things to get that certain flavor that people were looking for. I mean, there was one thing to get it done, but there was another thing to get it really good. I mean, to the point that people are like, ooh, I can't wait till you show up and cook this. So along the way, I tried out different things. My wife's sister has a husband, Charles, who she had bought him this, bullet style canister grill thing, like kind of like a barrel. And it was great. Charbroil makes this great little, easy to use grill. It's got a small cooking surface on top of it, but it's got a body that you can like hold things down in. It had a basket that you could lower things down in, and we cooked all kinds of stuff in it. It was really great. We made a few things that we could take to people, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait till you make this. It's so great." And it was fun to do. It was fun to finally have something to go, "Oh yeah, I can do this thing." Well, then pellet grills became a thing, and my buddy Greg had a pellet grill. And the more I ate off his grill, the more I thought, I really want a grill like that. I want to be able to do some of these smokes on these meats where it tastes like that. My stepdad, meanwhile, had gone the other path. He had started doing the green egg, the ceramic grill. And to me, that looked like a lot of time and effort and energy and trial and error that I didn't think I was capable of doing. So I went the path of the pellet grill, and I did some research. I wanted the same kind of grill my buddy had, but at the same time, I thought, well, this may be a name brand thing, and I don't necessarily need to buy the name brand. I could buy an off brand because there's plenty of people making pellet grills. And listen, I wasn't wrong. I did some research. I found a company called Grilla Grills. They're made up north. They're made to withstand the cold of up north. So they have double walled insulation inside of it with thicker metal. And it just so happens that everything they did at the time was the same as Traeger and everybody else that was out at the time. Green Mountain, RegTech. There's a lot of brands out there that do something similar. Where they impressed me was their online presence gave you a lot of like tutorials and videos and going, oh, this is how you do this, and this is an in and out of this thing, and here I'm going to show you how to set this up and how to click on this. And I was like, wow, this is really great. They did a good job of this. And Labor Day 3 years ago, they ran a sale. It was like $200 off. And I was like, ooh, look, honey. And like, I'm elbowing my wife and I'm like, look, this is the grill I want. And she was like, oh my God, that is so expensive. And it was expensive. It was more expensive than anything we'd bought so far as grilling goes. But I was like, listen, I want to spend this money on this grill, and I think you're going to be super impressed. Now, it's been 3 years, and if you ask my wife, she would say worth every single penny, because we've eaten some fantastic stuff off that grill. Now, with the grill, there's also a lot of maintenance to be done. And I know a lot of people are like, it sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work once in a while. You don't have to do it all the time. Honestly, I think I clean the grill maybe once every 2 to 3 months, depending upon how often I grill and how much I grill. Like if I grill a big thing and I know it's going to be a big mess, then I know I probably need to clean it, shortly thereafter, just so it's not clogging up everything. I've also learned that this grill, because it's made to work up north and because it's made to handle the extreme temperatures, it's the way it's set up, it cooks differently than like a Traeger grill. A lot of pellets made by Traeger and by other brands, cheaper brands, use this type of wood called Adler wood. It's just a higher temperature, faster burning wood, and this grill is not made for that. If you use those cheaper pellets, or if you use anything with Adler wood, it tends to create a lot of ash in the pot, and it gums up the works, and the pellets fall apart. Also, the cheaper the pellets, the faster they fall apart inside of your hopper, and they'll clog up the little part where it's supposed to go from the canister part down into the auger to feed through. It'll clog up that little opening, and you got to take it apart and clean it out, and it becomes a big mess. I learned that the hard way. But, it's best to keep it out of the rain if you can help it. I have tried to keep it covered when I can. I've also learned that if I keep it underneath something, it helps with the moisture. So, it takes a little bit of care. Now, the food that I've gotten off of it is amazing. It makes me pissed off when I go off to eat somewhere and you buy something that somebody's prepared and they've charged you a fee for, and they're like, hey, this is worth $30 coming from me, this one little steak. And you're like, really? And I know right away when I bite into it, I'm mad because I go, I can cook a better steak. Like, why? 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 Why don't you guys try? See, that's the thing. You go out to a restaurant, and I realize that when a restaurant starts off, people having a good idea and they have a good flavor palette, and they go, oh, this is really great. I'm going to make this thing for you guys because you guys, I want to sell this to you guys because this is the way I can make a living. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. And that's great when it's yours. That's great when it's like mom and pop's places when they're starting off and the people are in there working. It's super, super. Love it. Love everything about it. I wish there was more of that going on. The problem is eventually they get tired of it and they have to step away. And when they step away, you're kind of left to whoever's stepping in. And oftentimes they don't care because they don't have values. They don't have the same idea. They don't have anything invested. They could care less. They're just there to punch a clock and serve the masses. So they serve to you as fast as they can. They try to get it to you as fast as they can. They try to make the owners eventually at a certain point try to make an extra dollar. And if they can stretch things, they will. And they'll cut corners here and there, and they'll say, oh, that's good enough, and stuff like that. Well, once in a while, you come across a business who's doing the right thing, and they're paying attention, and people care, and that's what you want. That's what you get at the house. That's what we get at our house. When I cook something, I'm not cooking it just because I'm trying to shovel it out and feed people. I'm cooking it because I give a crap, and I want people to enjoy it. My buddy Greg, when he first came around, he was like, listen, you got to try this. And he started cooking some stuff on his grill. I was like, dude, whatever you're doing, I want to be part of it. I'm in. Let's do it. So I'm happy with my grill. I said all that to say this. Getting better. Character. The company, I've had this 3 years. The company has retrofitted a design board, a motherboard, that will allow their grills, the old style grills, to be retrofitted so that they can be Wi-Fi. A lot of grills coming out today are Wi-Fi, where you have controls on your phone. You have a little app on your phone that you can turn your grill on. You can go to the store. You can monitor what your thing is cooking at. You can adjust the temperature. You can turn it off. You can do all kinds of things. You can set it up so that it knows whenever you're in range of your temperature or what you're cooking. And if you're, let's say you had to run an errand and you get held up in traffic, you could turn the grill off with your phone. Not even have to be at the house because it's Wi-Fi. Now, I know they were getting into this weird technology level of things where everything is controlled by smart devices. And there's that whole big brother, the idea of, yeah, but then the government knows what you're doing all the time. Oh no, the government knows I'm smoking meat. If anything, they're like, sir, we just got the latest report. 10,000 people in America are happy and they're cooking with their grills right now. Okay, cool. What are they going to sabotage my meat? I'm going to be smoking meats and they'll be like, we're going to get him. We're going to shut it off right in the middle of the cook. Okay. Yeah, that'll be the trick. Good job. So anywho, I got a retrofitted board and I'm super happy with it. I just installed it today. I'm going to upload a video today. It wasn't crazy hard to do. I did have to modify something on the metal itself. There's a part where the probe that fits inside of the grill that monitors the temperature of the internal temperature. There's a part where that has a quick connect thing, and the old one doesn't because it's 3 years old, and they never thought anybody would ever have to replace these. But the quick connect thing has to fit through a little hole, and the hole's too small. I watched a video that Grilla Grills put out and said, hey, this is how you modify this. You just put like one of those step down bits on the end of a drill, and you just drill through the top part, and then you drill through the sidewall, you feed the thing through, and bingo, bango, you're done. And I did that. It was easy. Nothing to it. So thank you to the people at Grilla Grills. I'm glad you guys give a crap. I'm glad that you guys stand behind what you're doing. I'm glad that your customer service is so friendly. Listen, I'm on Facebook pages and stuff like that, and Instagram pages where people comment and ask questions and have gripes and complaints. And every time someone has a gripe or complaint, their customer service comes through and says, hey, we'll take care of it. What do you need? Oh, here's that thing. Here's how you fix that. And I've learned from it. I mean, I've learned along the way things that I've done wrong. I've also shared videos of things that I've learned along the way. Hey, I got this weird error code. I never saw anything about it before. Here's how I learned to fix it. And I've helped people. I'm glad that I've helped people. That's kind of what this is all supposed to be about, right? So anyway, thank you to Grilla Grills for coming out with a cool grill. I'm glad that you guys made something retrofit so that it didn't get old. I understand it costs money. I don't mind paying the extra money for the new board. That's totally fine. It's a lot cheaper than me having to go out and buy a whole new grill just because somebody doesn't care. That's kind of what Trigger did. They just came out with grills with Wi-Fi connectors and went, yeah, let's just buy the other one. Just either they'll keep the old one or they'll buy the new one. Gorilla Grills is like, nah, we're going to put out some new ones and we're going to retrofit the old ones. And we're going to offer it to our old customers first. If you want it, let us know. We'll ship it out to you before we offer it to the public. I was like, thank you. So anyway, good company. Check them out online. They got a good presence. It's Grilla, Grilla Grills. They're great. All right, let's shift focus a little bit. I want to talk for a second about, I know this is going to be crazy, but Animal Crossing is on the Switch has become sort of boring to me. I got this game about a year ago whenever I hurt my eye. And my buddy Greg was like, listen, this is what I'm playing and I'm obsessed with it. And I know it sounds stupid, but I can't stop playing it. And I got it. And while my eye was injured and I was waiting to get back to work, it's kind of the thing I did all day long. It gave me something to do because I had lifting restrictions and I had visibility restrictions and I had all kind of things that made it to where I couldn't physically do much. But I could play this game. And I've played it and I've played it and I've played it. And I've talked about it on here. And I've talked about the fact that I've been, growing pumpkins like crazy. And then I grew gold roses like crazy. And I did it because people kept saying, I don't know how to make money on this game. And I was like, here's how you make money. And they were like, oh, thank you. So whole thing. Okay. And I'm still growing roses, by the way. I'm still doing that because there's no point, but I'm still doing it. But now Greg's got me playing this Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Now, Zelda, this Breath of the Wild game came out 4 years ago, and it's still great fun. It's easy to figure out. If you go too far, you can just back up because it has multiple save points. And it's an open world sandbox design where you can do anything and go in any direction. And it's really, really cool. I'm really enjoying it. I don't get to play it every day. Busy, obviously with work. But it's a really cool game. They've got a new game out. And I haven't even played it. I don't care. I'm going to play this game for a long time. And I got it on sale for $30. I'm going to enjoy the crap out of this $30 game. There's something to buying an older game that was a big hit and then enjoying it like a new customer. Like, oh, I got the new thing. Ha! It's new to me. But also, like, if I get stuck, I can look at YouTube videos because people have been smart enough to go, oh, this is how you've passed this thing if it's really tough. Thank you. Thank you to all the YouTubers out there doing that. That's been super helpful. I don't know any off the top of my head by name, but there's lots of people out there making content to fill up questions that you have along the way. So thank you to all of you who are doing that. I want to give a shout out to Onelonelyfarmer on YouTube, Wesley Pandy Farms up there in Frenchtown, New Jersey. He posted a video of one of his tractors that caught fire. It's a pretty impressive video. He's got multiple angles and multiple cameras of this tractor catching fire. He mostly farms hay from what I can tell watching his videos. He does have some corn going on right now as like hey, let me try and grow some corn over here. But the hay, he talks about why the tractor caught on fire and how it caught on fire. And it's a total loss. It ends up being one of those scenarios where he didn't have insurance on that particular tractor for various reasons. And he explains that in the video of what happened and why it happened and the fact that, the tractor's been his for, a very long time and he's made his money on that tractor. And he's like, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, at a certain point, like, I'm sure as a farmer in particular, you have to know when to cut your losses, whether it's with a crop, whether it's with people, whether it's with your equipment. At a certain point, you go, okay, I got to move on. And you just have to clean slate, go, all right, boom, we're moving forward. And you move forward. That's the only thing you can do because there needs to be something happening all the time. I'm sure with farming, there's never any downtime of going, oh, I can just take the week off now. Can you? I mean, maybe if you've got enough good staff that's, people helping you. But man, there's always something that needs to be done. And again, we talk about character. We talk about how a lot of times it's up to you to do the right thing. If you don't, like, especially if you're a farmer, if you don't do the right thing, things go wrong. Your crop don't come in right. You don't make any money. You lose everything. Doesn't take much for things to go sideways pretty quickly. So it is one of those things where you constantly need attention. You constantly need to be there, and you constantly need to be knowing what's going on. Restaurant owners, I'm going to circle back to you guys. If you're owning a restaurant and you're not in your restaurant once in a while to pay attention to what's going on, customers are leaving because they're figuring out, hey, I can do a better job at the house. I don't have to do this. But that goes across the board. That goes all the way to, industry in itself. Any boss out there who's not involved and not learning about what's going on and trying to innovate and trying to think of the new thing that's going to help them out, you're not paying attention to the people and the struggles that they're going through, the things that are needed, your business is going to struggle. And it's not going to fix itself. You have to be involved. You have to get yourself involved. So be involved. That's all I'm saying. There is a new show that's on Disney Plus that I want to watch. It's a Star Wars show called Visions. From what I understand, it's like an anime version of some Star Wars stories that are in the expanded universe. And I glanced at it this morning. It looks like each episode is about 17 to 14 minutes. 14 to 17. I just said that backwards. Dyslexia. Sorry. So I'm looking forward to watching those. It looks pretty cool. There's also a thing on there with Spider-Man as like a tiny Spider-Man. I don't exactly know what that is. I think it's made for kids, but I'm still gonna watch it. They look like cute little cartoons. They have like elongated features, like a really big head, but a tiny body and big hands and big feet. I think it's supposed to be like mimicked off of some kind of toy that's made. But the Spider-Man stories are kind of cool anyway. But I'm probably gonna watch them. There's also a new What If on the Disney Plus. It's Party Thor. What if Thor and Loki didn't get raised as brothers, and Thor was just allowed to party all the time? Party all the time, party all the time. Was that Eddie Murphy? Yeah, Eddie Murphy sang that. So it's a good episode. There's a lot of stuff that happens in it, a lot of characters, a lot of funny stuff. A really interesting interaction with Captain Marvel, where she basically battles Thor for a good part of it. Spoiler alert, just letting you know. But yeah, so that's cool. The last season of Lucifer came out on Netflix. That show was originally on Fox, and it ran for like, I don't know, 4 seasons or something like that. And they pulled it, and then it went to Netflix. Season 5 was great. It had like, I don't know, 20 something episodes in it. It was crazy long. And then the last season, it was a 2-parter. It had like the first set came out and then the second set came out. And I just finished it this past week, and it's good. It's interesting. It's very soap opera-y the way they've done it. But it is a very interesting idea of what if the devil came and just wanted to live amongst people because he was tired of living in hell. Kind of an interesting idea. And you see the evolution as you go forward of his character and the things that he thinks are important. And the idea that it could be just a guy trying to figure it out, like all of us. Sort of like that, what was that? Joan Osborne had the song, "What if God was one of us?" Yeah. What if? What if? Kind of a cool idea. My wife and I finished The Sopranos. We finished watching all of them. Special shout out to Charles for letting us use his Netflix. I mean, his HBO Max. The Sopranos show, I know, was a huge hit. Okay, so I'm not spoiling anything. How could you not watch it? I mean, I didn't watch it till now, but it's been out for a long time. So the ending, what happened? Like, does anybody know what happened? Has anybody definitively said what the ending is? Is he supposed to get killed at the end? Is he supposed to make it at the end? Are we supposed to assume that Tony coming in, there's any kind of something having to do with his daughter having trouble parking outside? What? none of that makes any sense. There's a lot of this that doesn't make any sense. My wife and I were both watching the show, and we kept saying, well, this doesn't make any sense. And like, they just didn't explain a lot. I think they purposely just left things up to speculation so that people could go, oh, I bet this happened. Oh, I bet that happened, just so they could keep talking about it. But I watched the whole thing for a reason. Okay. There's a show coming out on HBO Max, The Saints of Newark. It's October 1st, they're coming out. It is the prequel, the Tony Soprano story of how he became from like a young teenager to a man to be the crime boss. And comedian Joey Diaz is going to be in it. Now, there's a character in The Sopranos that he looks and sounds just like. This was like 20 something years ago, 25, 30 years ago. And so it's not Joey then, but it's Joey now. And I don't know if Joey's going to be playing like his dad or his brother or something like that. But huge fan of Joey Diaz. I think this is going to be an awesome role for him to play. It was the part he was meant to play all the time. So this is going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. I got an eye appointment today. I got something going on with my eyeball. It's a little bit blurry. I went to the doctor last Wednesday and got some new drops. That's supposed to help. It is helping. I can actually see a lot clearer today than I have been. So, and it's been about a week. So that's good. I'm glad the drops are actually working. Hopefully when I go in to see the doctor today, he'll look at it and be like, oh yeah, it's looking way better. So fingers crossed. I'll let you guys know one way or another. I was going to say something and my brain just decided not to. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you want to be on the podcast, let me know. I'd like to talk to you. We can talk about anything. We can talk about ghosts. We can talk about aliens. We can talk about Teslas. We can talk about, we can talk about flying planes, electric flying planes. Matt, call me. I want to talk about electric flying planes. So anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Take care. And as always, cue the cow, baby. Moo.